Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Netherwar. C is for Centuria. Thank you for joining us for your weekly dose of superhero shenanigans. My name is Alex, and I will continue to be your humble game master for this series. Tonight, we are playing Mutants and Masterminds, the world's greatest superhero RPG, which is produced by Green Ronin Publishing. It's a D20 system that focuses on exciting superhero action, which also offers unlimited customization options to create your superhero. One thing I also really enjoy is the use of hero points, which encourage our players to really push their characters beyond their limits. These points can be used for rerolls, player scene editing, and even modifying or improving their powers in a pinch. Hero points are earned by leaning into genre tropes, acting heroically, good role playing, jokes I think are funny, jokes I think aren't funny, and suffering setbacks just like superheroes and other media. And from you, the audience at home. If you are here in our live stream tonight and you like or you subscribe to our channel, you are given a free hero point that you can give to either the players or me if you want to, if you're feeling, saucy.
No,
Precious.
we don't encourage that.
Today's episode is brought to you by these sponsored heroes. Say good night and good luck, heroes.
Good night and good luck, heroes.
I want to give everyone a chance to tell us a little bit about themselves, the character they will be playing, where else we can find them, and have them answer my question of the day, which is, what is your favorite C word? Starting with Andy.
So hi, I'm Andy. I am here every week on our Masterminds stream. Tonight I am playing Resonant, our resident gem mage, who at the moment has turned into a Muppet looking like Janice from the Muppets,
Very specific.
That's very specific. If I remembered, Dr. Teeth and his Electric Mayhem is the band name that she's from. It was going to come to me eventually. Let's see here. You can find me here. You can also find me over on our YouTube channel where I host our Storyforge series. We are retooling that, but you can find all our back catalog episodes where we talk character creation in a lot of different systems and a little bit of GM advice for different things. As for my favorite C word, well, I actually like costuming. Costuming / cosplay. That's a good one for me.
Nice. Good
So,
answer.
Alex, I think you had an order for this. Does it go to Calvin next?
It does go to Calvin next.
All right.
Oh, I am the aforementioned Calvin. Hello, I'm Calvin. I'll be playing Bowman tonight, the awesome archer with an incredible array of arrows, who currently in his Muppet form looks like Beaker, except the red hair is kind of covered with a mask, so you can see it like kind of poking out of the sides with like a sideburn. So he's kind of flopping around, and he's got the little weird little mouth that he has. While I am here every week, yes, I have felt arrows, of course. I'm also over on the Win with Dice YouTube channel, where we do weekly GM podcasts, occasional streams of the Lancer RPG game. We've got our finale coming up for that soon. And we started doing some gaming streams. I played some Skyrim, which was a whole lot of fun. So yeah, I've got a lot of stuff going on there. So check us out on the YouTubes. And oh yeah, question of the day. My favorite C word is actually a completely made up word. Only every word is made up, but this one more so. It is cromulent.
Oh, that's a good word.
Double
Which
words,
is from a Simpsons gag where they kind of had a whole episode around the word embiggen, and they realized at the end it was a completely made up word, and then one character was like, I don't know, it's a perfectly cromulent word, which is also made up, but now it's an actual word that just means like something's fine or acceptable. So I don't know, I just love the absurdity of it. So, and I'm trying to insert it into my normal vocabulary, so that's going to be my word, cromulent. And I will pass it up to Kevin, I believe is next in the order.
How do you follow that? I mean, I used to work with a guy who was known for just making up words on the spot to sound smart. His two award-winning were highlightions, for when you highlight something, and laugherous, for when it's really funny.
Was he an English teacher?
No, he was not an English teacher.
Was he a gym teacher?
No, he was a service writer for Saturn. So yeah, you should not be making up words. Anyway, my name is Kevin. I'm not even sure I'm all over the place. I am like literally becoming a speedster, I think. I'm in 10 places at once. I'm only online on Monday nights, however, for this stream. Otherwise, I'm too fast to be photographed. teaching and courtly things and starting up a business. I have a full plate right now. It's all kinds of crazy. My favorite C word is chupacabra.
On the border?
That's a nice addition. When my nephew was growing up, he was both fascinated and terrified of the chupacabra. He would look up the chupacabra on the internet and then scare himself with the pictures and run screaming out of the room. So I would call and leave messages as the chupacabra on his phone. Because that's the kind of uncle I am.
Nice.
I forget who's next in the order.
It's Jonesy.
Jonesy.
Hey everybody, I am Jonesy. I will be playing Mortis, our living cadaver. He has the ability to talk and speak with the dead and do other ghostly things. I can be found here on Monday nights playing this game, but on Tuesday nights I can be found running Tales of the Finest, Blue Rose 5e game. Other than that, Mortis currently looks like a classic vampire style Muppet, who is legally distinct from a certain vampire of accounting variety.
Not a duke, but enough.
And yeah, other than that, favorite C word. I'm going to be that guy and go with cookie, because I like cookies, especially freshly baked peanut butter or chocolate chip cookies, fresh peanut butter.
I love everything about that.
The good stuff.
And with that, I will turn it over to Cat, who's named after a cat, which is also a C word.
Technically, it's king when it's applied to me. Okay, so my name's Kat. I am playing Centuria, and right now I am a low felt Muppet with a Karen, stereotypical Karen style haircut. So living for that. I don't really have a lot of whole time to stream a lot of other games or do anything else gaming wise other than this. This is pretty much my little fun blurb of the week. Otherwise, I'm in school or work. So I enjoy these little 3 hours that we have. And as for my favorite C word, I don't actually know if it's like a real word in the dictionary, but I know that it has an origin and all kinds of stuff. But it's cattywampus.
Oh, that's a good word.
Yeah, it means diagonally. And me and my sister used to use it all the time growing up. Like it probably annoyed my parents like to no end, because we would just be like, Mom, like that's cattywampus. And I know my mom was like, I just need them to shut up. But when you're kids, you're weird like that. So.
I always used to use that word when things would go sideways or things would not go as planned.
Exactly.
Wait,
so
Kat, are we supposed to outgrow that? Shit.
No.
I know. I still annoy my mom today. I called her like 6 times today. But other than that, I will go ahead and just pass it to Alex for his favorite word.
Yeah, my favorite C word is cult, but specifically when it's being used as a verb. So when somebody is doing cult.
Doing cult.
Huh?
That is not a dictionary use of that word. That is an Alex Thomas TM use of that word.
I feel like this is a theater thing.
No, it's a
Yeah.
gaming thing. We were playing a game where we were a bunch of kids trying to interrupt a cult in a high school, and I was Weird Kid. That was my name. Was Weird Kid. And I snuck into the gymnasium wearing a robe and found people doing cult, and I came back and told the rest of the group that they were indeed doing cult in there.
So stupid. And we just called him Weird Kid the whole game. Like he never got a name. It was just Weird Kid.
So,
oh god.
Doing cult. Or cloaca. Cloaca is another big favorite of mine.
Not cerulean?
There's so many C words that work for Alex. It's hard to
Cerulean.
choose one.
So there's a drinking game in my book. Every time you see the word cerulean, you're supposed to take a shot, because apparently I overused it in the first
Be prepared to get drunk though.
It'll be good.
Or make it shots of water.
Yeah, just hydrate. Everybody hydrate before they dihydrate.
Zydrate comes in a little glass vial.
It comes in a little glass vial. All right, so yeah, we'll just go ahead and jump into what happened last time. Without further ado, let's get started. That's the sentence, Alex. You say it. You've said it every episode for 28 episodes, and you screwed it up this time.
I would like to remind everyone of the broken Calvin counter, so be on the
Yes.
lookout.
It doubles as a broken cat counter because they usually break at the same time.
That's true.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
So
We like
last
good
time-
humor, man.
Last time on Netherwar, our heroes found themselves betrayed in the dungeon dimension and eager to locate the missing warden so they could escape to track down the duplicitous Sophie. They found their way to the dimension's directory, and with some magical hacking, they located Warden in the decommission center. After solving my devious puzzle, the heroes stepped into the DC and found out it was actually a portal to the DC animated universe. They wound up in Arkham Asylum as imagined by Bruce Timm and Paul Dini. Trying to stick to their original plan, they approached Dr. Hugo Strange asking to see the Warden. Dr. Strange, for his part, took them down to the cell blocks where they found a disheveled Bruce Wayne. Before they could clarify that wasn't who they were looking for, Hugo filled the prison with gas, knocking everyone out. The gang awoke in a cell block full of a who's who of Gotham criminals: Joker, Harley, Scarecrow, Solomon Grundy, Poison Ivy, and Scarface, also known as the doll guy next to Centuria. After conversing with Batman's enemies, the annoyed voice of the all-powerful trickster Quirk filled the prison. He said, "I thought this was a superhero show, get to the punching, and set everyone free." The heroes fought the villains and triumphed. However, before they could enjoy their victory, Quirk moved them to a new show, Poppy's Place, a Sesame Street-inspired kids program. There, the new Muppet Freedom League Dark ran into little Susie and Felix the Grump. Felix tried to say that there were no words that began with the letter C. Much to his chagrin, the costume crime fighters charismatically challenged his concerns and conjured some cunning-candid collections of characters whose conception point was C. Quirk said the show was too boring and spiced things up by sending out a massive letter C to come up with some more examples. We rejoin our Muppet heroes as they move to attack the big old C. Look at it over here.
I hated that alliteration that you had in there.
Oh.
I loved it.
I noticed. It hurt my head.
As the GM chews the scenery.
You know, I'm here to chew on the scenery and the player characters.
That's part of the job.
That is what that sea monster looks like it wants to do.
Yes.
Oh,
No,
Overdrive.
sea monster.
Sea monster. Shoot.
Very good.
I hate this.
Overdrive, you're on first.
What? How's that possible? All right. So because I am a Muppet, there will be a whooshing sound, and as the Muppet disappears off screen, there will be feathers that sort of just pop up, not as if, you know, a really bad impression of a speedweight. And he will race over to the letter C, and he's going to throw some felt hands with the old multi-attack. And this got the old multi-attack on it. A 26.
26 will hit the letter C.
Okay. If I holy
The letter C
mother
Oh
of
my
rolls
God.
gosh.
The letter C rolls a 37 on its toughness check.
And I will use move by action to not be right next to it because it looks hungry.
It cackles at you.
I'm cowering over here by this blue thing. C is for cower.
Mortis, over to you.
Well, Mortis will attempt to stop this sea from chewing up any more of the scenery, and will fly up a little bit and conjure bolts of ethereal energy to blast at it.
Excellent. What do the bolts look like in Muppet Vision?
Bean bags.
Yep.
Wow.
A 20 will hit the letter C. The letter C is fine with a 33 on its toughness save.
Oi.
Crud.
Centuria, over to you.
Why, are these street lamps?
They are street lamps.
gonna tear a street lamp out of the ground. And she's gonna whack him with it. She's gonna use the heavy blow. I don't know how hard he is to hit, but we're gonna try it. Okay, we're not gonna hit him.
There's 1 point for the BS counter.
Oh no. Maybe that's not a bad thing.
Yes, count.
Yeah, the boredom scale, or perhaps it means something else.
Does the
We'll
audience
find-
know what it is?
This
Our
is a
viewers
family
don't know-
friendly. This is
Our
a
viewers
family
don't know
friendly
what
stream.
these-
So, since I don't think I told the audience about this, because
Oh.
we are in the idiot box, every time a Quark has something called the boredom scale, and if things aren't going the way in an interesting direction for him, he will change the channel. And that score goes up by 1 every time somebody rolls a natural 1.
Oh, my bad, guys.
Mm.
Unless we want to get out of the Muppet universe, then not bad.
But Centuria, you do run over with your little Muppet hands. You uproot this massive street lamp out that's much bigger than your little felt body, and you swing it into the letter C.
I will move right here so I'm in the middle of the sea and anybody else. Except for he.
Bowman.
Okay. Let's just keep it simple. Swing arrow. Can I just mosey on up to this roof here?
Yeah.
So by mosey onto the roof, you mean the puppeteer throws the Bowman puppet to the rooftop?
Yeah, he just kind of like
Yeah.
flops onto there.
Yeah.
Picks himself up. Me, 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 me.
As he's trying to like bark orders to people, it just comes out like me, 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 and then he fires this arrow. It's got like a little sticky thing on the end of it. He just yanks up to the roof.
Sorry, it's Bowman Beaker. Me, 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 me,
Me, me, me. Perfect. And then from there, I'm gonna shoot a foam arrow, try to lock this sea down before it can crush us. Gonna try to aim it like outside of where Centuria would be in range of the explosion, but try to get this big old sea. I'm pretty sure I can land a hit on it. Unless you need the exact square,
No, I believe in you.
at least positioning wise. Oh, hey.
Nice.
Look at that. It's too bad it's a burst area.
Dang
Yeah.
it.
So, dodge save, DC 18.
Dang it.
Wow.
The second dodge save for DC is this yeah, it's DC 18, so DC 14 for the second one.
Keep forgetting to turn power attack off, but yeah. Moot point.
So the giant C, I can't think of a C word for movement, so crawls out of the
Cruises.
way.
Cruises.
Cruises out of the way. There we go. Of the foam arrow that explodes. And I assume it's like the same foam that comes in silly string containers.
I was thinking more like a light soapy kind of foam.
Ew.
Soap bubbles.
Excellent. The colossal crushing sea is going to cruise over here next to Centuria and try to chew on her as he moves by.
Does the sea have saliva?
He does.
Ew.
He didn't until you asked me, but now he does.
You ask the question, you get the answer.
I mean, I'm just
Centuria, don't
curious.
feed the trolls.
That's gross, right? Where does he keep it? His mouth is literally open.
It just spills out on the ground.
Ew!
Behind his cuspids, of course.
So this consume power is linked to Chomp, so he's going to consume you first.
Oh my gosh!
Oh no! Roll 20. That's a natural 20 for the consume, so give me a
Why
forti-
have you rolled like 17 natural 20s since we started?
I don't know. But go ahead and roll a fortitude save DC 31.
Wow.
Fortitude?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Or wait, dodge first. Resisted by dodge.
Did you put cumulative on that just because it started with C?
No.
Wow.
I would have
I
put
wasn't a
cumulative.
very confident no.
I would have put cumulative on it anyway. It's just a fun.
Just as the added bonus.
20?
Are you happy with the 20? That will make you immobile and defenseless for the chomp that's linked to it.
Holy crap.
Let me try again. 28.
So
Oh no, wait, that's a 10. Wait, does a 10?
Yep.
10 does go up.
Good, 28.
28, you because
Hindered
it's a
and vulnerable.
31, you will be hindered and vulnerable, so that doesn't affect your toughness as much. Now give me a toughness save. You're looking for a 31.
24.
So that's a bruise and a daze, Centuria, as you are sucked into the salivating mouth of the giant sea.
That's gross, but
and
okay.
Chomped on, with your little Muppet body like flailing out of the mouth with its little arms up.
Absolutely did not have to say salivating.
Mm.
Messing up the
Consume.
And that is what the sea is going to do this round.
Yeah.
Down to, I think, Resonant is the next one. Yep.
Resonant is going to raise her felt hand and pull on the power of her lapis lazuli and say coalesce as she summons her glacial crash.
Beautiful.
Oh, there's a natural 20 that I don't need.
C is for damn it. Dodge 22.
Yep.
It'll fail, so roll against the dodge 22.
Yes.
That is defenseless and immobilized.
Yes.
Yes.
What happens, Centuria, as you coalesce?
Centuria.
Oh, come on.
Resonant. I got C on the brain.
Like, I just got chomped.
You did get chomped. So you know those streamers that come up when you put wind through them, like the little kazoo type thing. So that's all that comes up around the sea, but it's all blue for the ice.
You mean cerulean?
No, I'm not taking a shot.
Shots. Are you happy with that being the end of your turn, Resonant, or do you want to do anything else?
She will float this way towards the.
Again, a puppeteer just chucking you over there.
No. This one you get the little floaty motion.
It's just a puppeteer like running, moving you up
Yep.
and down over next to the swing set.
Is that what that's supposed to be?
That is, I typed in playground in the art assets on Roll20, and that's what came up. It's a swing set and a slide. Overdrive.
Well, the big critter seems largely helpless. I think it's time to dash back in there. Of course, the puppet will disappear off screen, and then like scraps of paper just sort of fly upward because that's super speed in Muppet Land. And I don't have the advantages, so I will just do an all-out attack, power attack, maneuver, shift, and go for a finishing attack.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, I forgot to put the adjustments. Actually, yeah, the attack roll will stay the same. The DC will be 2 higher.
All right. So.
Oh,
DC...
I'm sorry. I did the burst one. Hold on, let me roll that. Yeah. Okay. Why do we keep doing the burst one? There.
There it is. Excellent.
There it is. So it's 24 to hit. And it's a 28 plus whatever multi-attack bonuses fly off of that.
Plus finishing attack.
Plus,
Yep.
yeah.
So you're
So
looking
it's-
at a 38 DC.
Yeah, I like the sound of that. Oh, look, a bruise.
Yeah, right.
No, that's a difference of 9. That's a bruise in a daze.
Okay.
Wow.
One good hint against the sea. Ha, ha, ha.
Cough up our companion, you monstrous letter on. I can't even come up with another one. I'm done. Sorry.
If you just stuck the landing, I would have given you a hero point.
Yeah, I know. I was like, oh, and then fell in the water. I fell in the water. It's like American Ninja Warrior. Just so you think they made it. Oh no. Off they go.
that should
And
have
first
been
into the
shows.
pool.
Bowman has too much of an advantage in American Ninja Warrior.
Oh, he's not allowed to use his swing line.
Oh no!
Oh no, I guess we just have to use his amazing physique. Mortis, over to you. Count Mortis.
Oh, no, it's not a,
I shouldn't find that as amusing as I did. But
it's like it's got a nice good ring to it. Clobbering time. I'm going to attempt to again blast it with my ethereal bolts. See if this works.
Yeah.
Finishing attack.
That'll work, and it's a finishing attack. So DC 32. Oh, that's another bruise in a daze. So what does it look like, Count Mortis?
Bing bag, bing bag, bing bag, bouncing off the sea.
You guys hear a bunch of disembodied children's voices out somewhere in the void say, "Ah!" Centuria.
Okay, I'm gonna try to do my heavy attack again now. I think it'll go a little bit better. Oh my god! Okay, it went a little bit better by 1 point. Still an 8 though.
Yeah, an 8 is not actually enough to get the finishing attack modifier, but it. I don't think it even hits because the defense is 0 and defenseless. So
Oh my
that is a
gosh, I'm
miss.
literally like struggling here, guys.
You can use extra effort to go again if you want.
I can do what?
You can go fatigued and go
Oh.
again.
Yeah, I guess so. Guess so.
And
Oh my god.
Fluff and Velcro.
Oh my god. I rolled another 8.
This is your fault, Alex. You gave her the episode title tonight.
I'm refreshing the Roll20 page.
well, wait, but that counts as a roll again, so that one's an 18.
It doesn't count as a roll
It
again
doesn't-
because it's an extra effort. It's a separate action.
She wasn't doing a reroll. Okay, yeah, never mind.
She doesn't
My
have
bad.
points.
It's fine. I'm just, in the creature's mouth. Somebody save me, please.
It's a different show.
Jace Kestrel, if I'm wrong about that, let me know in the chat.
And
Never say that to Jace Kestrel.
I'm just wondering if your roll set up right. You rolled a
Yeah,
What?
how did you roll so low?
Rolled a 2
2 on the
plus
dice,
6.
plus 6.
My heavy blow has like a really low.
Right.
Yeah, it's an 18
shifted.
DC with a 6 to hit, so it's 24.
It's heavily shifted.
that makes sense.
That makes the sense.
So you... I'm imagining Centuria is in the sea's mouth, flailing around like Kermit.
Yeah,
when
she's
he's
just
worried.
like she's not hitting anything.
It's a couple of old white Muppets that look down on you and laugh from the balcony.
Stop it.
Wow.
Well, she can't really hit because they need to show her legs flying out from the behind, and so they can't actually have the Muppeteer.
We don't have enough hands to punch. Bowman, over to you.
Can I do like a finishing attack and a power attack just to
Yes, you
super
can.
boost the DC of like, yeah, okay, here we go.
As long as you hit.
the DC.
Oh, I'm the bowman. I can hit anything.
Wow, take that.
I'm Centuria. I should also be able to hit anything.
All right, power attack. This thing is defenseless. Finishing attack. Let's go with the most appropriate arrow. Boxing glove. I was pretty sure I can hit as long as I don't get a 1.
You never say that out loud.
I know, I just like to tempt fate. I rolled a 19.
So that is a finishing hit. Ow. DC 37.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Do it, do it.
37 and 23 is a difference of
14.
14, so that's a stagger. What happens,
She's
Bowman?
so hard to.
So Bowman, he lines up the boxing glove arrow, which this one, instead of the boxing glove popping out mid-flight, is just like this big red boxing glove on the tip of the arrow. It looks totally unbalanced, but he is adjusting for the new weight of it and makes a shot. Can I actually just fatigue myself and do it again? I'm pretty
Sure
sure I can stop this guy.
Do it.
I feel pretty brave. I'm not going to use a hero point. I'm feeling brave.
Bowman's all about the letter B.
That is a 15.
This beatdown brought to you by the letter B. DC 37 again. Here we go. That's the second stagger. How do you take it out, Bowman?
Yay.
So normally, this is where he would say his catchphrase, but instead it comes out as meep meep, meep meep meep, and he fires the arrow, which of course soars through the air. I'm sure if you watch close enough, you can see the invisible string holding it up.
Oh Lord.
And then it just kind of like bonks into the sea with a comedic sound effect.
Oh, that's amazing. Amazing.
But it has to be a crunching sound because that's a C word.
Aha!
Crunch.
Perfect.
Excellent. Okay, so Centuria, you come flopping out of its mouth, all Muppet style.
Imagining she's just like soaking wet too. She's just like, ugh.
Nobody likes a wet Muppet.
Nope. Especially Centuria.
And little Susie runs over to you all and she says, "Wow, there are so many words that start with the letter C. Thank you, everybody, for teaching us that." And as you sort of collect your Muppet selves, the static begins to overtake the world again, and you hear the clicking of the remote as it's changing channels.
Mm-hmm.
And as the static fades, you find yourselves, at least two of you. You find Bowman and Centuria, or Bowman and Resonant. Sorry, I did it again. You find yourselves standing in a huge living room with outdated furniture. Let me move us over. You find yourself standing in a huge in a living room with outdated furniture, an overstuffed couch, a set dining table, a dolly-covered credenza, and a glass television built into a wooden cabinet. Your costumes, too, are gone, replaced with shirts so bright the colors hurt your eyes. No ceiling hangs overhead, just studio lights and black void beyond. A musical sting sounds from nowhere, followed by soulless laughter, as if from some unseen crowd. As the chortles die away, an unseen, dulcet-toned voice announces, "Stay tuned, it's filmed in front of a live studio audience." And we open the episode with Resonant and Bowman out eating breakfast.
Or did we just hop into another universe?
Looks that way.
I think we might have to keep playing along to get out of here. I mean, unless you know some magic thing that can get us out of here now.
If I did, I would have used it already.
Okay, well, I don't have an anti-fourth dimensional figure arrow, so...
This doesn't sound like the kind of conversations that'll be happening on Stay Tuned. BS score goes up one.
So
Is that the one with the
I have
little alien dude?
Well, you would know. You brought him here, right? It's your
Uh,
fault that my life is ruined because of that darn cat.
the cat. Well, honey, I can't. I can't predict the volatility of the electronics that we buy. This is all cutting edge technology.
What, that you got from Radio Shack?
No, it was a radio outhouse.
Today's
Pause for
episode brought
laughter.
to you by Radio Shack. Ha 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 ha.
Well, I have to get to work, so kids' lunches for school are in the fridge. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll handle the kids. You go to work and find a way to get to work. There's a lot of traffic out there.
Thank gosh I carpool. Timmy, breakfast is ready.
Coming, Mom.
Timmy, do you make your grand entrance?
I clomp, 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 clomp off stage and then enter.
When you come down the stairs, uproarious applause erupts from the void beyond the fourth wall.
Hey, Timmy, we've got big breakfast here for you, and where's your brother?
I don't know.
There's some heavy footfalls on the stairs. Clump, 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 clump. Josh comes down, looking like it's too early for this. Just sort of flop down at the table, pour some milk on the cereal.
More clapping.
Has anyone seen Jaxer this morning?
Try to get rid of a lot of news.
If only we were so lucky.
Grandma enters from the side room. I bet that Mr. McGillicuddy has him.
When you say Mr. McGillicuddy, there's a knock at the door.
Now, who could that be?
Don't
Well,
open it.
well, I will let you deal with him while I get to work. Have a good day, dears.
You too,
Hi, Mom.
dear.
Say.
Who's opening the door?
I don't know.
You're the only one left in the scene that's old enough to do it. Besides Grandma.
Grandma
Grandma said don't answer it. Grandma said don't answer it.
Yeah, I'm not answering it.
I'm sure it's just one of our friendly neighbors, or there is a package I'm waiting on. I'll just march over to the door and open it.
When you open it, you see, sure enough, standing around is Warden, but dressed in a bright purple and green jumpsuit, similar to the ones that you guys are wearing.
Oh.
And he has a twisted look on his masked face. And he says, I have the strangest urge to ask you if you have a puma in this house.
Don't believe we do, pal.
Centuria will walk up behind you like, I don't see what it is of your concern whether we have a puma in this house or not.
Oh, these guys are so embarrassing.
I heard yowling all night, and something scared my poor pit bull Ace. I want to come in and take a look around.
Well, I mean, you know how the kids' music is these days.
You're not coming in this house ever, young man. And then she's going to slam the door in his face.
When you slam the door in his face, the audience applauds.
Centuria looks at Bowman and just sort of like smirks. She's living for this.
You're enjoying this a little too much.
I never get to yell at people.
And
I disagree.
I disagree. As the
Well,
room... go ahead, Kevin.
I guess I better get to school. I'll see you later, Dad. Bye, Grandma.
Bye, Joshua. Make sure you eat your vegetables at school today.
Of course, Grandma.
And tell that lady, what was her name? Tracy? Tell her I said hi.
Grandma? Jeez. I got my basketball and my book bag and head out the door.
As the room quiets, you can hear someone talking from beyond the living room. And a 3-foot-tall cartoon jaguar steps into the scene, nodding enthusiastically to the oversized phone in his hand. Yeah, he assures someone on the line. It's 144 Maple Street. See you this afternoon. And don't forget to bring them beautiful little fishies. And he hangs up. And he'll run over to Grandma and Dad. And he'll say, guess what I just got?
In trouble?
No! No, I never get in trouble.
Pause for laughter.
He says, you know that radio station downtown, KROK, the Crocodile? I just
sure.
won a year's supply of anchovy pizza. And at the mention of anchovies, he rubs his tummies and his pupils turn into little swimming fish. Yeah, the DJs, Magic Max and The Belch are delivering my prize certificate this afternoon, along with a photographer to take a few publicity shots, he says, pulling a comb from nowhere and brushing the fur on his head back.
You can't get pictures taken of you.
Uh-oh. And he starts bouncing around the room, panicking.
Timmy, can you calm him down, maybe?
Here, have a snack. I got pancakes.
Give me a persuasion check, and I'll give you a +2 circumstance bonus. What'd you get?
15?
15. Yeah, he keeps bouncing around, having a little bit of a cartoon stroke as he's sort of freaking out. He says, "No, I don't want no stinking pancakes. I won that Zaw fair and square. They have to come." And he sort of like stops bouncing around and bumbles over to Timmy and just at his knees, just like begging and pleading with big wet tears falling out of his face. "You can't let them not give it to me. I work so hard."
We'll take you away.
Why can't he go again?
Oh, well, he's a very unique breed of cat. We don't want people getting jealous.
He is a very good boy.
Yeah.
"You're right, Grandma. You gotta help me. You gotta help me get my prize. It's well earned."
Could we go get the prize?
No, they're gonna come here and take our picture. They're gonna deliver
Maybe.
it directly.
Did you put your name down?
Yeah.
Is there a picture?
No, they're gonna come take the picture.
Maybe we can pretend Timmy is you.
Oh, shucks. Would you guys do that for me?
Timmy's a good boy.
Yeah, this sounds like a shenanigan. I mean, sure, we can try that.
And he'll look over at Timmy and just like run over and just like give him the biggest high five with a massive cartoon hand.
Right as we transition to commercial.
Right as you transition to commercial. And into another show.
Like,
All right. Oh, jeez.
Jeez.
No patience for commercials. I get that.
Yeah, Quirk does not want to watch commercials. So as the static fades, all of you find yourselves standing alone in an ordinary home. Your costume replaced by ordinary clothing. But somehow everything feels off. Somehow cheaper than you're used to.
Are we like ourselves this time?
You are
As
yourselves,
far as we know?
but in regular clothes.
Is there anything around me?
Centuria, you happen to be in a garage. There's a car parked in it. There's a number of different power tools lifted up on the walls and such. Mortis, you're in a kitchen. Overdrive, you're in a living room. And Bowman and Resonant, you guys are upstairs in the laundry room.
Am I able to lift the car?
You are not. When you try to, give me a strength check.
Check the fridge for a soda.
Wow. So I rolled a 1, a 2, and now a 3 for a 19.
Well, Centuria, when you try to lift the car, you kind of describe to me how you catastrophically fail to do this.
So I'm
As you hear a
imagining she's
male
sort of-
announcer voice say, "Has this ever happened to you?"
I'm imagining she's like bending down and trying to like sort of like lift up the end of the car, but then she like pulls a muscle in her back. And she's like, "Oh!" And then she's like bent down. And she's just sort of like struggling to stand straight back up.
Awesome. Mortis, you said you were opening the fridge?
Yes.
Give
Oh,
me a investigation check.
I'm looking for a soda, but
Do you know what a soda is, though?
I will settle for Sunny D. I got a 20.
You also fail catastrophically. What happens as you hear the male announcer voice say, "Has this ever happened to you?"
Yeah, Mortis goes to step across the kitchen to go to the fridge to get a soda, and slips on a wet floor, and just the whole feet fly up. He flies and hangs for half a second, and he goes boom on the ground, landing right on his back.
And just stuff from the fridge just begins to fall out on top of you. Resonant Bowman or Overdrive, what are you guys going to attempting to do?
So go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So Resonant and Bowman are upstairs in the laundry room, you said?
Yep.
So Resonant is bending. She's down on a knee. She's like opening the door to the dryer while Bowman kind of stands there. Do you need a roll for something, Alex?
Yeah, give me a roll. I guess just give me a strength check or an investigation check to open the dryer.
I'll give you an investigation check to open the dryer. It's a 13. I'm assuming I'm failing catastrophically, so.
Yes,
Bad.
you are. You actually fail bad enough that you impose a -1 to will and skill checks on the next scene.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh.
So, what happens as you catastrophically fail?
As I pull the door open to the dryer, it actually slams into Bowman's knees.
Sabotage.
I guess meanwhile Bowman is dealing with the washing machine, and as the cycle finishes, he pulls out a shirt that's been like clearly ruined by like running colors and stuff. It's got like this absolutely messy, swirly pattern on it, or it's probably just like, I don't know. It was a white shirt, now it's a pink shirt.
Awesome. Give me a strength check.
Ooh, not very strong. 18.
You also suffer catastrophically. You get a -1 to will and skill checks in the following scene.
And like as he's pulling out the shirt, there's like a tidal wave of foam that comes out.
And then Resonant hits you in the knees with the door. And you both fall in the puddle of soap and bubbles and just...
This is a slippery house.
The announcer says, "Has this ever happened to you?"
Yes, just now.
I'm almost afraid to ask what I'm doing in the living room.
What are you doing in the living room?
Watching TV.
Give me a perception check.
Oh Lord.
What if he's watching an infomercial on an infomercial?
This is one of
Fourth
those
wall break.
4-hour-long infomercials. That
Fourth
starts
wall
at
break
4
inside
o'clock
of fourth
in the
wall.
morning.
26.
That is a failure, but not a catastrophic failure.
Nice.
So what happens to you, Overdrive?
I guess I was sitting watching TV and I go to get up and oh, my back twinges.
Welcome to the team.
This house is scary.
Back pain.
Team back
This is
pain.
worse than the sea.
So, as each of you fails catastrophically at your task, and you hear the voice say, "Has this ever happened to you?" An unusual object appears in each room that you're all in. It's a lump of gray plastic with a knob and handles on it with the words "Help-O-Matic" printed along the side in bright red letters. "Now try the Help-O-Matic," says the announcer.
Okay, try the Help-O-Matic.
Can I reach it?
Yeah, you all can reach it.
Okay.
Does my back still hurt?
Yep.
Oh god.
I reach for it and go, I'm falling and I can't get up.
Somebody call Life Alert. So, everybody who picks up a Help-O-Matic, you're allowed to make a follow-up skill check of the same variety that you just did, but you get a +10 circumstance bonus to this check.
Oh, it's so wonderful.
Wow. Good. So 40.
41.
29.
29.
Oof.
Did you add your?
22. I thought I added it. I thought I added it and like failed, but no, it is 22.
Wow.
Help-O-Matic's not all that helpful, is it?
My knees.
It's a good thing you weren't watching an ED commercial.
Ooh.
No, that would have been gross.
Nobody help me.
Oh,
Y'all better be
That's
careful.
so-
I'm gonna put you guys in a Cialis commercial.
no! That's wrong.
So Overdrive, Centuria, and Resonant. Resonant, does that include your plus 10?
Yes, it does.
All right, so just Overdrive and Centuria succeed.
Eh.
So Centuria, you go to pick up the car, and you pick up the car, and things go from color to black and white. And the Help-O-Matic begins, like, vibrating in your hand.
It's a
Overdrive,
shake weight commercial.
Overdrive, you go from, like, twinging your back. What were you trying to do when your back started twinging?
I was just, getting up to go to the kitchen to get a snack.
Oh, the Help-O-Matic sort of propels you up onto your feet, and you get a
Hey!
nice little bit of a running start into the kitchen, where you see Mortis still on the ground with cans falling on him.
Derek, you okay?
Falling, I can't get up.
Ketchup tub just falls out on him.
Oh,
Yeah, I assume things aren't better in the laundry room either.
No,
Nope.
things are not going well in the laundry room either. The foam has begun to overtake the room, and you feel it solidifying around you guys.
can I try to help Derek get up?
You can. You can roll a team check on his next check.
Okay.
So,
Am I rolling the skill that he rolled, or am I rolling the skill that I rolled?
the skill that you rolled.
Oh, okay.
And you still have the plus 10 bonus with your Help-O-Matic.
Ah, excellent.
So everybody go ahead and roll again, who has not succeeded yet.
It's not that helpful.
I was gonna say. Investigation isn't the.
I got a 31 to help Derek get up.
So that will give a plus 5 to Mortis's roll.
Fuck.
So Mortis with a 25 and then a 10 is 35. So you succeed this time, Mortis. How do Spooky and Spooky help each other out?
Well, I mean, I see he's sort of falling and struggling there, so I will sort of grab a hand and with my other hand try to support his shoulder as I pull him to his feet. With his other hand on the Help-O-Matic, he just pops right up.
Oh.
Okay, I don't want to drown in foam today. Let's give this weird device a try.
I got a 34 on my check.
That's a success, Resident.
Is that
Good job.
Okay, add 10 and roll high. I did not. I got a 24. That is with the 10.
Bowman, you are like crushed against the window by the foam, but Resonant, you are able to free yourself from the situation.
All right. I guess I'll use the Help-O-Matic to help Bowman out. Same check as that I've been making before.
Yep.
With the 10
With the 10, yes.
to 24 to help.
That will give a plus 5 or plus 2 bonus to Bowman's next roll.
Groovy.
Almost a plus
So
5.
with a 12.
Ah,
Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna use a hero point because I want to get out of this
You
foam.
don't have to worry about it, Bowman. You just triggered the BS counter to reset.
Oh gosh, it keeps counting between shows. Ooh.
Oh boy.
Quirk says boring. Click.
God.
and the static rolls and fades, and you all find yourselves in an individual limousine dressed in very fancy civilian clothes, driving around in a long procession of limousines. What does everybody's fancy formal attire look like?
I'm kind of picturing some sort of like vest and shirt. Cause I want to show off the
like
arms.
a real sleek looking tuxedo.
Centuria is in like a very like body fitting, like glimmery silver dress.
And I think Resonance would be similarly shimmery, except it's probably black and has one of those sheer trains that goes out the back. And she's got one of those. She's got a silver clutch in her hand, and all of her gems that are usually on her gloves and around her neck are all on a necklace that just kind of sits right at her cleavage, which is probably very prominently on display because it's that kind of dress.
I thought you were gonna say it's that kind of show.
I don't know that it's that kind of show, but I'm assuming.
Too.
Mortis is dressed in a Victorian-inspired tuxedo.
Excellent. So you all sort of roll up, and one by one the limousines park in front of this beautiful, ornate Italian villa-style mansion. And Centuria, you're the first one to arrive. And you hear this sort of announcer voice saying, "This is one person's chance to find true love with an eligible bachelor on the stag."
Oh.
Centuria just starts like chuckling to herself in the limo.
Lord.
That's what we're afraid of.
And
So
Centuria,
can I get out?
yeah, you get out. There's a host waiting there at the door who's just got this big, bright, dumb, smiling face on his face. He's wearing two faces.
I was gonna say dumb smiling face on his face.
This dumb smile on his face.
I was gonna let you go, but
And
No, it's Two-Face.
Does he have a name tag or anything?
he does not. He does say his name is Bryce, though.
Oh.
Of course it is.
At least it's not Hunter.
And he says, "Kate, it's so good to see you. You're the first girl to arrive. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself before we take you in and introduce you to the stag?"
Hi, Bryce. I'm, a strong, level-headed woman who, just never really got to have a good childhood. So I just really want somebody who is going to have fun with me and, travel the world.
Good answer. Head on in, and we'll introduce you in a sec.
Thank you, Bryce. And then walk on in.
And Overdrive, you arrive next.
I'm sorry. Mallrats is in my head right now. I don't know how to do this.
Should be here today.
All right, so I guess I'll get out of the limo and try and look all cool, strutting up to the camera and the host.
And Bryce says, "This is the first man in the running to show up. The stag is very excited to meet you. What can you tell us about yourself? Your name is Dave?"
Yeah, Dave Collins. No relation to Phil.
Thank you.
You hear Cork chuckle.
very good.
I'm here to wow and impress. These other limos. There's a reason they are coming, up after me. So you can meet the runners up in a bit.
What about the one that came before you?
Shh. I'm not acknowledging that you're not there. So real quick.
Awesome. And Bryce will say, that's very inspiring. It's good to meet somebody who wants to come first. Very typical male.
Wow.
I'm gonna mute myself so I can laugh really hard.
And Dave, you go on in. After that is Fletch arrives. And Bryce will say, "It's nice to meet you, Fletcher?
Oh, my friends call me Fletch. I'm imagining Fletch's mask has been replaced by like a pair of dark blue sunglasses, which he'll adjust as he walks up.
What can you tell us about yourself, Fletch? What are you hoping to get from this experience on the stag?
Oh, well, you know, I always like to meet new people. About myself, well, gee, I mean, I guess I would say I'm a dedicated young man who can always reach my targets, no matter how far away they are.
I
Got a
hate
lot of
all
focus.
That's for your idea. I don't
I was gonna say, just remember, this is your fault.
This one actually is my fault.
Yeah, you set us up.
called down the thunder. Well, now you got it.
And Bryce will say, "It's good to see somebody who's so on point. I hope you get the rose in the first ceremony tonight."
Oh, I hope so too.
That's rude, but all right.
He'll tilt the glasses a little just to wink and then head on in.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow. He doesn't need the stag. He wants the host.
Gotta be pure Fletch.
And Derek is our next contestant.
On the Price is Right.
no.
No, that's later. But
Wow.
Yeah, I arrive. I was less than impressed. That Bryce.
And Bryce kind of looks at you with this big dumb smile on his face. And he says, "Oh, it's nice to meet somebody who's tall, dark, and brooding. The stag is like that too."
Sounds like we have lots in common.
Yeah, I think you will enjoy meeting him here in just a moment. What can you tell us about yourself, Derek?
I'm a city boy, and yeah, I've grown up all over the U.S. and looking forward to seeing what's lies ahead.
Well, I think we're in for a great treat, especially if you play the bad boy angle.
I will walk off.
I love this show.
And Gemma, you were up last.
All right.
Gemma is such a good name for a bachelorette girl. Bachelor.
It really is.
Yeah. So I guess we'll get out of the limo and walk up to the host.
Says, "Oh, Gemma, it's nice to meet you. Thank you for being on the show. You know, we really appreciated your audition tape. What can you tell us about yourself and what you're looking to get out of this process?"
Well, you know, I never truly. I always truly wondered if I fit in. So I'm really looking to find someone I can connect with and just someone that'll make me feel like I belong.
Well, you're going to have an out of this world experience, I promise. And Bryce will actually walk up with you, Gemma, into the house. And you're all sort of standing in the entranceway of this big, beautiful Italian villa. There's this swooping grand staircase that goes up to the second floor balcony with this rich sort of dark brown wood. And you hear the announcer over the top say, "So those are our contestants, everybody, and now we get the chance to introduce them to the stag for the first time. A real silver fox of a character."
Oh,
no.
God.
At the top of the railing, you guys see the Arctic fox.
Oh my god.
Vasily is a wealthy, independent businessman from Russia who is really looking to score big with the love of his life. And Vasily will walk down the stairs and stand in front of all of you. And he'll say, "It is great to see all of you. Thank you for coming out to see me tonight. I would like to get to know each of you, one-on-one, if that is okay, for a moment."
Centuria just looks at Bowman. She's just like chuckling, like silently.
Bowman has this expression, like he's trying to keep his like his expression like normal, like smiling or whatever, but he's got like this, like something's caught in his throat.
We remember. Oh, sorry.
I almost named this show The Silver Fox, but I thought that would give it away.
I'm also down for Bo Fox if he doesn't want to be Resamin?
Resonant?
No.
Bowenant?
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
one, it's phlegma.
Yeah.
Phlegma. That's fair.
Resonance sounds like a seasoning.
You don't want your life to be spicy?
And Vasily will walk up to Centuria and kiss her hand. And say, "My dear one, we start with you."
Alright.
And
She'll look at, as she, right before she walks away, she looks over at Dave and she winks at him. And then she walks off.
He'll just like glare and shake his head. We are not playing this game.
I am.
and he'll take you back into this beautiful rose garden, onto this little marble bench out back. There's a couple of cameras set up. And he'll sit
He's
down.
so sad if he tries to fight me.
He sits down next to you. And he says, "Well, Kate, what can you tell me about yourself?"
I know, I had a little bit of a rough go at it. I'm sort of recovering, trying to find myself and trying to find, love.
I'm sorry that you haven't found it yet. But I am grateful for the opportunity to try to show it to you.
Yeah.
He says, I too had a hard life growing up as a child. In the cold, desolate wastes of Russia.
Yeah. That sounds tough. I'm glad that you're no longer there.
What is your idea of the perfect date?
I'm not going to quote Miss Congeniality on this.
Why not?
Do it.
April 24th. All you need is a light jacket. Anyway, no, but I'm a very active person, so honestly, like hiking up to a high spot, watching the sunrise or the sunset, having a little picnic, that would probably be the best date.
I too enjoy the great outdoors. I spent a lot of time scaling large mountains in my youth.
Yeah, I was more in the city, scaling the city in a different sort of environment, but they both have their challenges.
Well, hopefully we will have an excursion together soon.
I hope so.
And the producers will sort of take you away, Centuria, and they'll come back for Mortis. And they'll bring you out to the beautiful rose garden, Derek, and they'll sit you down next to Vasily, and he'll take your hands in his, and he'll say, "Tell me about yourself."
Silence.
I don't know where to begin. It's I kind of like my mysteries. Out of character, quick question.
Mm-hmm.
How what is his presence like? Because I don't think I've ever seen him. Mortis has never seen him out of costume when he's got married.
No, I don't think so. He's just sort of a very well-built, sort of tannish, older gentleman with gray hair, nice kept beard. He does have an eye patch over one of his eyes.
He does.
He's beautiful. He's beautiful, Jonesy. That's all you need to know.
Definitely built like he does CrossFit. And he's dressed in a white jacket instead of a black tuxedo.
No, he's Mugato from.
So apparently Russian daddies is a thing, I guess. So there's that.
You don't have to call me Daddy. Unless you want to. And he'll kind of look at you and he'll say, I see there is a darkness in you. And that darkness calls to me. It calls to my darkness.
You and Hades and everyone else get in line.
Yeah, he kind of looks at you and says, what are you hoping to get from this experience?
I have no idea.
That's okay. We can figure it out together. At your pace. And the producers will take you away, Derek. And they'll go and grab Bowman.
Oh no!
So Bowman walks up, almost kind of stiffly, but he tries to shake it off as he approaches.
He says, don't be nervous.
Oh, I'm not usually nervous. This is all a new experience for me.
It's a little strange for me, too. It's not quite the custom of my place, my people. But I've looked for a long time on my own and not found anybody who is sort of at that peak level I was looking for.
I know what that's like.
You, however, you do seem to have a peak physique.
Oh, yeah. Well, you only got one body, so you gotta treat it right.
Yes, I seem to remember an expression about the temple. But you seem more familiar when I think of temples.
Not sure what that means. Bowman's gonna step a bit closer.
Please come sit next to me, and he'll pat on the marble bench.
Okay, sure. He'll sit down, shuffle over a bit. He'll say, so, I mean, I am curious if I could, I mean, I know you're supposed to ask me questions, but I do want to, know some things about you. Who are you? Where are you from? Are you trapped here too? He's gonna try to whisper that last part. Nod if you are trapped here too.
Give me an insight check.
Ooh, you not taking a 2 on that.
Are you trapped here too?
I mean, he doesn't. Bowman doesn't know. Warden's clearly here. Oh, that's not bad. 25.
You're looking at him, and there doesn't seem to be a glimmer of recognition. When you ask if he's trapped, he says, I have been trapped in my isolation for too long. Much like yourself, I imagine.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what I meant.
That's what I was talking about, just feeling so isolated and alone. You try to reach out to people and just want to make that connection.
Yeah.
They stab you in the back.
Yeah.
At least this time you know he's a villain.
Exactly.
And he'll put his hand on your thigh, and he's like, I too have been betrayed by love.
Squeeze.
Yeah.
And now it's your trip. What is going on here?
And he says, don't worry, though. I feel like we are kindred spirits. We will have a good time on this program.
In a weird way, I think I agree with you.
And the producers will take you away, and they'll bring out Gemma. And he'll look at you, and he says, Gemma, is it you glitter with the beauty of 1,000 stars?
You flatter me. Well, thank you. You're not looking too bad yourself.
I am not the I'm not a creature for flattery.
Well,
I merely
Well.
state what I see.
then you have keen eyes.
Kind of.
Blue flecked with green.
Oh my god.
And he'll gesture for you to sit down next to him, and he says, "What is it that you are looking here? I sense that you are ill at ease, and that you have a great burden on yourself."
Man, a psychic?
I don't know. I feel like I need to open up a little bit. I so often hold things in or make myself responsible for everything. It's a challenge to just release that.
He takes
And so
your hands in his hands. He looks to you. He makes direct eye contact with you, Gemma, and he says, "You know, there's a saying in my country that a box is most useful when it is open."
Did you write these down, Alex?
No, that one was off the cuff.
that is very insightful.
There is wisdom to be found, and beauty and pain where I come from. But I sense that those are facets of your life as well.
The facets of all life, I imagine.
I hope that we will see each other soon. And then they'll go get Dave.
So, are we ourselves? Do we we remember this guy from
Yeah.
not the idiot box? Oh, you had to pick this guy. I really hate this guy.
Same.
The other Dave really hates this guy.
Yeah,
All the Daves hate this guy.
all the days
Yep.
hate this guy.
It's a
If there's one-
multiversal constant.
I was gonna say, if there's one multiversal constant for all the Daves in the universe, in the multiverse, it's they hate the Arctic Fox.
The next to the
All right, so I'll roll in. Sir?
Oh, you don't have to call me sir. Please, Vasily is fine.
See-
Dave, please come and sit next to me.
Okay. Does he look like he recognizes me at all?
You can roll an insight check.
Not investigation. Insight. 16.
The only thing you're really getting from him is this sort of like general like, oh my god, look at all these beautiful people I get to hook up with excitement. But he doesn't seem to recognize you specifically.
Okay. So, all right. I mean, I will sit next to him and be obviously uncomfortable.
He says, I'm sorry if I'm putting you off. I don't mean to make you uncomfortable.
See, you remind me of somebody I know.
Somebody who caused you a great pain?
You could say that.
Well, I am not him. And I'm sorry that you have suffered a great pain in your life. You seem like you don't deserve that.
Dave is really freaked out that he's being a nice guy because this guy is really a jerk. Yeah, well, thanks. That's very kind of you to say.
I get the sense that you are restless.
Yeah, I'm always on the move,
What makes you want to settle down?
I'm not necessarily committed to settling down. It's one of those, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, keep moving, I like to keep my options open.
Well, I hope that our experience here will make it work for you. I have a thing for redheads.
But I'm brown-haired, sir. Character art.
Whoops.
Gosh darn it.
Oh, sorry, I was thinking of that hunky bowman guy.
Many people are.
Well, you know, and maybe
All
it's gonna
of
work
them
out.
villains.
Maybe it's gonna work out for you in Bowman. He has
Yeah.
he has a thing for traitors. I mean,
Oh
I'm
my
sorry.
gosh.
Break the fourth wall there.
Quark
This
is going to
one
add a
time.
point to the BS meter. Oh, man. And Vasily will sort of stand up and he'll say, well, I think I've seen everything I need to see for our first impressions rose ceremony. I want
All right.
everybody to roll the interaction skill check of their choice. Perception, deception, or intimidation.
Perception, deception.
Not persuasion. I'm surprised.
Or persuasion, yep.
Wait.
Persuasion, deception, intimidation. Those
Okay.
are skills.
Okay, so not perception.
Not perception.
Yeah.
You said intimidation.
I am not. I am not going with a 2 on
Man.
persuasion.
I'm gonna keep that 14 because I feel like that's kind of how I played it. Not real good.
It's like, that's fair.
That's a fair assessment.
I got a 26 on my persuasion score.
Dang, you bonded.
Awesome.
Morgan's got a 24.
Mm-hmm.
Mortis did get a 24. So, you're
Like
all
the
taken
bad
into
boy.
this. There's sort of like this flash cut as you all sort of appear in this beautiful appointed room with a large red carpet on the floor, and there's a pedestal with 2 roses on it that are white roses. And
Only 2?
only 2 for the first
Oh,
impressions.
God. Dang, okay, Jonesy and Resonant.
And you're all sort of brought in, and Vasily's there next to Bryce. And Bryce says, "Well, folks, how do you think your first impression with Vasily went?"
I definitely learned some things.
I really felt a click, Bryce. I hope he chooses me.
I feel like we weren't all on the same page, but you know, it is what it is.
I really think he saw me for who I am.
Dave will give Resonant one of those looks like, what?
She's like trying to rein in, rolling her eyes.
I'm too fast to be subtle.
And Bryce will say, "Well, that's excellent news. In this first impression rose ceremony, Vasily is going to give 2 roses to people who are safe from elimination in the first physical challenge." Everybody looks at each other like, "What?"
What?
Physical.
And Vasily says, "I would like to give this first rose to Resonant, or Gemma."
To Resonant. I know who you are.
Oh,
Initiative!
Double dare. The next part of the Bachelor, we are going to go to the Hidden Temple.
What?
I don't know. Slime.
Can we go back to the Puma thing?
And
Just suddenly on guts.
time to scale the aggro, Crag.
Vasily says, "Gemma, I would like to extend this rose to you to accept, to protect you from elimination."
I will accept.
And he'll give it to you and he'll kiss you on the cheek.
Mm.
And the other one I have here is for Derek, whose darkness speaks to my darkness. I would like to see what else Derek has to offer in the coming challenges. And he'll walk over and give you the other white rose, Mortis, and he'll kiss you on your other cheek.
Do we have our powers?
You haven't tried to use them yet.
I'm going to attempt to use it right now.
What are you going to do?
I want to do just enough crackling energy to make my rose appear black.
Nice.
Noise.
Wow.
You have enough power to do that. And Vasily sort of smiles coyly before you all go to commercial and move to another show.
I would hope I do better than As far as I know, I'm the only dude on the team that likes dudes. So
If anyone looks at Centuria, she just looks like piss.
You know, they asked me to be on that show once. I turned them down. Maybe I shouldn't have.
he would end up with another villain.
Yeah.
Welcome
Wow.
to the Superhero Bachelor.
Uh,
Let's put Dave on there.
No. No.
Today we picked 8 metas and put them in the loft to see what happens when they start being supers and start being real.
I would watch that show.
And as the static sort of crackles and pops up, you all find yourselves standing in a semicircular room with white easels in front of you. And you see Bob Ross standing in the middle of the room with his own easel and his palette of paint. And he sort of looks at all of you with a nice, warm smile. And he says, "Welcome back. We're certainly glad you could join us today." And I think that's where we're going to go ahead and go to our break.
Wow.
Tom washes over Motus.
Can't believe he traps Bob Ross too.
I
Villain.
love
So everybody get up and stretch. Go grab some water. We are going to we're going to get set up for this and be back in just a couple of minutes.